Hey nail sisters, welcome if you're new here or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some Amazon must-haves if you are a beginner nail tech. So I'm starting off showing you here that you will definitely need a cuticle pusher, cuticle nipper, and your nail clippers. Now, I do like how these nippers, the cuticle nippers, they do have a cover, plastic cover to kind of protect the blade. That way, if you drop them, they don't become dull or, you know, they're damaged. So I like that. You can also get your nippers sharpened over time as well. The next item that you will definitely need are some files. Now, I highly recommend as nail techs, you definitely need to start learning how to buy in bulk. It will definitely save you a lot of time and money. And with the files, they definitely come in different shapes, like banana shape. I just stick to the straight ones like these. I like the jumbo 182/40 grit and also the straight files like this. So they do come, like I said again, in this case where you get a lot in them, because you will definitely be going through so many files with your clients, and anything that says that it is washable or reusable, definitely these are not washable and reusable. Is one file for one client, each client, one file for one client. You don't want to reuse these on the same client. Now if you're using it for yourself, it's okay, but again, one side is going to be the 180 and then the other side for 240. I usually use the 180 side for my services. Depending on what service you're doing, you know, will determine the grit. Now, the next thing you definitely will need are buffers. Now, don't get too caught up in the colors. I feel like when I first started, I was like, okay, all these different colors. Now, I will say what you will need to focus on is the grit. So I like to get the 180 240 grit. One side will kind of be soft and smooth, which is the 240. The rougher side is the 180. You're going to use like the 180 to kind of rough up the surface if you're trying to add texture for like gel polish and things like that, or to remove like the scratches from the e-files. So definitely buy these in bulk as well. Like I mentioned, it will definitely save you. And the next thing that you're going to definitely need are some bits. So the bits that I like to buy are you're going to need cuticle bits. You're going to need a bit to remove like gel polish, and also like a sanding band, which I didn't show, so definitely those. And then also if you're doing like acrylic, you definitely need a bit that's going to help with the surface work, remove excess product, and also smooth that surface, and also for like when you're doing fills. So I definitely would say a 5-in-1 bit is definitely good for acrylics. So for me, I don't have like, it's definitely good to get a lot of bits, you know, because you want to change out your bits every like 3 to 4 months, especially if you have back-to-back clients, because you don't want to keep using the same bit. It will start to dull out and it can cause damage. So I also like to get the Russian one if I want a really good doing like manicures. So definitely I would say these imported bits are really what you're going to need. You don't need to go out and buy like 50 bits and then, you know, use so many of those. I mean, you really just need those main bits like I mentioned. The next thing that you're going to need is a nail primer. Now, you can choose which nail primer you want, but I like to use the no lift on the right side for like acrylics. This primer right here I will use for like press-ons. I have another primer for when I'm doing soft gels, and so different primers do different things to me, and you know, your choice, you can choose whichever one, but you're definitely going to need a primer to apply to the natural nails. And when you buy these, you can kind of buy them in a larger size as well, but if you want to kind of test it out to see which one, you can buy them in a smaller amount. Now the next thing you're definitely going to need is these lint-free wipes. I do like the ones by OPI because they are a little thicker. If you buy those nail lint-free wipes that are like really thin and you can see through them, that means it's too thin. It's going to be paper thin and it's definitely going to tear, and you will have to use a lot of those during the service. So I feel like I've only probably need about 2 of these at a time. I did kind of show in another video how you can kind of save on this, but I would definitely say starting out, these are definitely handy. They help with like removing when you're trying to remove gel polish, or if you're doing nail art, or if you're removing regular polish. There are 200 that actually come in this box. So you can also use it to remove any type of oils, dust from the nail as well when you use like your dehydrator, which I'll show next. So you can see here on the back, it does say it is for like cleaning nails. So like I said, you're definitely going to use this for multi-purpose. And like I said, you can get a larger quantity. I think I buy maybe about like 3 of these at a time, just to kind of save. The next thing you're going to need to get is a dehydrator. Now you can the 2 that I kind of recommend when you're starting out is the OPI dehydrator. That works really well, and then also the Swipe by Young Nails. Now I also have all other types of dehydrator, like I mentioned, for soft gel. So like on the right hand side, you've seen it was a smaller bottle. That's definitely not gonna last. You see how big this bottle is? So usually when you buy your bottles of products, you want to get anything that says like 32 ounce or above, because that's going to save you a lot more than these smaller bottles. Now you can, like I said, test it out and buy a smaller quantity like the one on the right, just to see how you like it. The next thing that I like to also recommend is some scissors. These are good for like cutting the nail tips. Especially I like to buy these straight ones. I don't like those nail like tip cutters. I feel like they bend the tip. They can kind of like crack it and leave like a unevenness look to the tip. And even like regular scissors, I definitely don't like to use that either. So I like to use something like this. I feel like you get a more straighter look or cut with the nail tips. The next thing you're going to definitely need is some cleanup brushes and also a nail brush. The cleanup brush is good for like if you have any gel polish when you're polishing the nails that gets on the skin, or just any product that you need to get. These brushes are definitely good for pedicures. I think I'm going to start selling these like soon, later on, because I cannot find cleanup brushes like these that really get in the crease and crevices. When I tell you that as soon as you see how I'm placing this brush, like it's literally getting right up in those tight spaces. Some brushes, they just smear, some of the like cleanup brushes, they smear the polish just everywhere, and you have to keep going back over that same area. With these, I don't necessarily have to do that. So I definitely, like, I will definitely leave another suggestion, but you also, like I said, going to need the nail brush that helps to remove any oils, dust, contaminants. And also when you use your dehydrator, I like to use this brush as well and go down the nail to remove and make that surface clean for application. And the next thing that you definitely want to look into are getting some nail tips. Now, when you're doing acrylics, you definitely want to get the ones that are like half tip and that come in the box. Now, Macart does have some that are like half tips, but I'll also leave like another suggestion as well. I feel like they're definitely like sturdy. They don't feel like they will bend as soon as you like bend them back. I also like to get I would say if you're doing like press ones, the full cover tips, and then also when I'm doing like gel X, I will also buy the full cover ones. Like I mentioned, Macart definitely has some great ones. They do come in like different shapes, sizes, length. So some come already pre-shaped where you don't have to do too much shaping. So that's really good. Now, also be careful when you buy tips, because some tips are not made for certain like services, or I should say like even clients, because some clients can't use those flat tips. So definitely keep that in mind when you're purchasing these. So everybody's nail bed is definitely different. Some may curve down, up, you know, so everybody can't use the flat tips, because if you put a flat tip that goes for a full and half, if you put a flat tip on someone's nail bed that kind of curves, it will put a lot of pressure and it will cause pain to them. So definitely kind of look out for that when you are purchasing. And like I said, I will leave some great ones, some good ones that definitely, like I said, don't bend or plastic and all of that in my description down below. Like I said, Macart definitely has some great ones if you're looking for gel-X or press-ons. Now, the next thing that I recommend, we're going to get into talking about the actual products. So if you're doing gel-X press-ons, I do recommend like this tip glue. I will leave an alternative because I realized that some of these products that I'm going to show you, you can't get because you do need a license. So a lot of the products that I have are more for licensed pros, but I am showing some other recommendations and alternatives on Amazon. So here, I like to use this for gel-X, the Gelish foundation. This works really great. And like I said, buy your things in a set. So it comes with the primer, the pH bond, the dehydrator. I think it also comes with like the cuticle oil, which another thing you're going to definitely need is cuticle oil. So when it comes in those like packages, definitely look into that. D&D definitely has it as well. They have like the whole pH bond, the primer, the dehydrator, and this tip glue. So definitely look into that. The next thing that I recommend, if you're, depending on what type of nail tech you want to be, if you like me, like to like do multiple service, if you are just want to only do acrylic nails, then you're definitely going to need, I would say, start off with a cover pink, white, and clear. That's really the three that you need to get you started, get you going. You don't need to really spend a lot of money on like colored acrylic because those things are not meant to do a whole full service. You can see here this Glam and Glitz one, the white one that I have, you can see is very minimum. Now I will also say, like the Young Nails, the cover pink is amazing, but they do have different speeds when it comes to the acrylic powders. Like if you are like just beginning to start out, then you may not want their fast acrylic powder because you know you're moving a little bit slower than it's actually taken to dry. Now the Valentino Crystal Clear, if you are looking for a crystal clear crystal, like you can see through, like this Valentino is a little bit pricey, but I will say it's definitely worth it if you're looking for a crystal clear. I really like this one. And when you're actually using acrylic powders, like I said, pay attention to the speed at like some websites. They do like list the speed for, you know, when it like dries, how many minutes. So pay attention to that, because if you're not fast and quick, then you don't need to be buying the acrylic powders that dry in like 2 minutes and you can't move that fast. So all those acrylic powders are tailored to the amount of time it takes for it to dry. And then when you use the acrylic powders, I'm going to show you also, you want to match up your monomer. So I like to, if I use the Young Nails, then I'm using the Young Nails monomer. And like I said, you see how big this bottle is? This is a 32 ounce. Don't buy those little small monomer liquids because you're going to run through that like within a week. So buy it big. If you can get the 62, that'll even be better. So like I was saying, definitely buy the monomers that match to the powders, like the brand, because when you're starting out, you don't really may know how to work with like C&D and then match it with another Young Nails powder. You know, it may not work well for you. And I do highly suggest learning one system first before moving on to another. This will definitely also help you in the long run. And like I said, when you're using your acrylic like monomer, it's best to stick to the same like brand when you first start out to match it, because that way you know that your service is like your products. You're gonna learn your products, and you're gonna know that, okay, I know how this works, I know how this is going to hold up. So definitely look into that. I also do like the C&D one as well. That one works really great. But again, like I said, find the system that's going to work for you and not against you. Learn it first and then move on to something else. Definitely will save you. And then these powders, you can start off like, if you want to get a smaller like jar and then kind of move up, you can. The next thing, depending again, like I said, on the nail tech that you want to be, it's going to be the soft gel. Now, one I will say highly recommend when you're starting out is by ORLY. They do have like the clear, and I think they also have the cover like pink. If you want to get into hard gel, I recommend the IBD hard gel. Now, I don't do hard gel, but I do soft gel. Now, there are like 4 other brands that I like to use with soft gel. But again, those are for license. So I can't really recommend them off Amazon because they're not on Amazon, but I will definitely say the ORLY works really great if you're looking for a soft gel recommendation. I like the ones that are actually in the bottle. I don't too much like the ones in the like jar. I just feel like they're too messy. It's just too much work. So, you know, like I mentioned, this one, the ORLY works really great if you're looking for a soft gel. Now, the next thing that I recommend are brushes. So let's kind of talk about the brushes. Depending if you like to use the soft gel in the jar, you're going to need a brush for that. So also for acrylic, when you're starting out, you want to see what brush works for you. So they have like oval, they have like flat, and the one that I recommend, I will leave down below for beginners because I feel like that brand, the hair is very like soft, and you also want to take care of your brushes as well. You want to reshape them and make sure that they stay how they came, because if you don't and it gets all gunky and stuck, like you want to make sure that you're cleaning your brush out every time you use it and reshape it after, because this will definitely keep the shape. The hair is in place. You never want to clean your brush in acetone. You want to clean it in monomer. And like I mentioned, you can like start off, I would say like they say a 10, but I feel like a 12, even a 16, because it's going to pick up a lot of more monomer, and that way you can, if you pick up too much, you can definitely wipe your brush off. But I do feel like it won't work you as hard with a smaller brush because you have to pick up more monomer. So the next thing that you want to do is you also want to buy a glass jar to keep your monomers in. You can also buy these glass jars for like storage if you want to put nail art or things like that in here as well. You can do that. I do feel like the glass one with the lid definitely helps kind of minimize the smell a little bit with acrylic. And another trick when trying to kind of minimize that smell with acrylic, you can definitely look into like getting a cardboard, like cut out a cardboard and then put the bouncy paper towels on top. So next you want to also buy the nail tip glue. I do recommend the KDS. It holds up very well, extremely well. I haven't had any issues with it. I do also like the brush on glue as well. I think that works just as well. I want to say they do have a brand with the brush on, and I think Young Nails does too. So those definitely work like really great. They hold up very strong. I haven't found another nail glue as strong as this. So the next thing you're going to need is empty bottles to put your store your actual monomer. And like I said, that jar is where you're going to like pour it out as you work. You're also going to need, I like to use these dental bibs to lay out on my surface table while I'm working, because you can always like allow spills to get on that instead of damaging your table. And what I recommend for if you're doing acrylic, you need thicker paper towels. So I'm going to recommend some down in the description. Definitely the Bounty. If you can't get those, then like I said, I'll recommend some. And then, like I said, the dental bibs definitely help as well. Even if you're working with soft gels, that definitely, like, I would say 100% is great as well. So like I said, you're definitely going to need some good paper towels that are strong and hold up. You're also going to need some acetone, and again, buy these in a bigger size. You can see this is a 32 ounce. You're also going to need a glass bowl when you're soaking off any type of gel polish, soft gel. You're definitely going to need something like that. When you're actually placing your items, especially like acetone, a lot of these, even monomer, like you don't want to never buy plastic to put these in because it will melt away that material. You always want to stick with the glass if you can for most of these items, because like I said, it will just kind of like destroy that material. So definitely look into that. The next thing that I think a lot of people don't really talk about as a nail tech, you definitely want to also get you some masks when you're working. I definitely recommend, like, if you're using acrylic every single day, you definitely, I would say the 95 mask definitely helps. But if you're doing like soft gel, hard gel, then these little masks definitely like are okay. We are definitely breathing in chemicals every single day, like every day. And depending on how many hours you're working or how many clients you're taking a day, like imagine you're like working 8 hours, you have seen like 10 clients or even more, and you're breathing in those chemicals every day. Imagine what that can do to you if we're not protecting ourselves up hand. So make sure that you're investing into this. Also, I highly recommend getting some gloves. I don't necessarily like the blue ones when doing acrylic. I would say the black ones work way better. They're made for like when like you're like a mechanic or hairdresser who's using chemicals. I think estheticians use these as well. So I think the black ones definitely are better for that. If you're doing like soft gel, I do say like the blue ones are okay, but I usually kind of use these if I'm wiping away like the inhibition layer on gel polish or something like that. And I don't really like the clear like gloves, the ones that are like clear. I don't too much care for those because they tear and rip really easy, especially when you're doing pedicures. Now on the right side, you will see that these are the black gloves, and they definitely, like I said, work and hold up way better than the blue ones. So I highly recommend definitely buying these. They do come in the small, medium, and large size. So definitely these are, I would say, important. You're going to be running through these gloves. You need to definitely change these out every single client. So you definitely, that's why I said need to get some gloves that are going to hold up very well. Just as much as, like I said, the mask. You know, we're sitting here breathing in these chemicals and toxins, all types of things, the dust, you know, all of that every single day. And we got to protect ourselves. We got to go in like we ready for surgery, you know. So this is why I definitely recommend. I'm kind of showing how these stretch, and you can see how that blue one, as soon as I stretched it, you can see that it looks like it's going to get ready to tear. So that's why I say the black ones to me definitely hold up, and they don't tear as easily as, like I said, the blue one and the definitely the clear one. So another piece of item that you definitely want to get, which I recommend off of Amazon, are your top. You can buy the top gel and base gel. Now I do have my preference as to like when I use a no wipe top coat or when I use a wipe top coat. So you could definitely decide, but you're definitely going to need a top gel and a base gel. These are like must-haves. You must have these in your collection because you're going to be definitely using these on a regular basis. Also, when you buy your polishes, I would definitely say, like, you're definitely gonna need a white gel polish in your collection, because the ladies, they like to get them white toes. They love the white toes all year round, summer, fall, spring, and winter. If you have those seasons, they are definitely going to like these. When you buy your polishes, I would definitely say, you know, get them where they come like the regular and the gel, just in case if, you know, someone asks for like regular polish. But you don't have to, but you know, but that's definitely up to your decision. But I will say that when you purchase these, I'll kind of talk about in another video about how to actually build your like kits with certain colors and things like that later on. So definitely, I feel like get your primary colors first, then you can like build up later on, because you can always mix your primary colors and make other things. Now, the next thing that I highly recommend is your nail art brushes. These are definitely going to, definitely, you need some good nail art brushes. I love McCart nail art brushes. They hold up so very well. When I'm cleaning them, the hairs stay into place because I definitely reshape. Like I told you all, make sure to reshape your brushes after you use them, and definitely clean them after every use. These McCart brushes, they do come in 3-pack. They also have the pink, black, and white one. I think I'm going to get those next. but I have definitely highly recommend even also a dotting tool as well. But these Macart brushes, when I tell you I have wasted so much money on buying nail art brushes that don't like work, or the hairs, they become all straggly and just loose and all crazy looking after I've used them or cleaned them, and then they don't hold up and perform. But those definitely, I can definitely say they have held me up. So the next thing you're going to need is a mini little lamp. If you're doing like Gel X, I would say the flashlight one, where you can flash cure is good. I got the one from Madam Glam, and then also I have the one from Macart. Both of these are really good. It does have a USB port where you can charge up to your laptop or the wall with a wall cord. Now you're going to be flash curing using these for if you're doing like gel nail art. I would definitely say to get this because you don't want to waste so much time sitting on a nail art, you know, and then you need to be able to keep moving when you're doing nail art, because with gel, you know, it may start moving a little bit depending on what type of gel like nail art you use, but it's good to flash cure in between so you know you're not messing it up and you can kind of move on to the next thing. So I definitely would say a mini like flash curing lamp is going to definitely help you. The next thing that I want to talk about, because you know, I know it's like this isn't talked about a lot and it definitely needs to be. As a nail tech, you need to protect your eyes. I love these glasses. They're not prescription. I did get these. I'll leave a link to these as well, because I feel like you have to protect your eyes. We're sitting here, we're removing gel polish. If you do an acrylic, we're removing that bulk. You know, we're removing when clients come in and their nails like have lifted, you know, cracked. We're removing all of that, and all that stuff is flying everywhere in the air. It may flick in your eye. You may get dust in your eye. I've literally known someone who like they had to have eye surgery because dust got in their eyes when they were doing nails. So you want to definitely protect your eyes at all time. You know, so I like to put these on when I'm doing definitely I would say pedicures. Like when you're removing things off of the feet, you definitely need to be protecting your eyes because you don't know what could be flying your way. So like I said, when you're removing stuff, this is going to be your best friend. It's going to protect your eyes, you know. Make sure that they definitely fit to your eyes and they don't be sliding all everywhere. The next thing that you want to definitely get, I would say, is a nail dust brush. You're going to definitely need this when you're dusting off any type of dust on the nail. I will leave this down below as well. The next thing you definitely are going to need as a nail tech, definitely every state, country is different, but the state that I am in, you're definitely going to need barbicide to clean your implements, the metal ones. We have to have, like I said, laws are different everywhere, but in my state, we have to have the fungicidal, the bactericidal, the virucidal. You know, we have to have all those different cytal in our barbicide in order to use it. If it doesn't have all that for us, we can't use it. So follow your laws, figure out what you need to follow, state regulations, all of that, and invest into, you know, the right barbicide for you. You're also going to need a tray to actually clean your implements. Inside of, I like this one because by Barkley, because it does have a tray that you can kind of take out. And you know, when you actually cleaning your implements, make sure you're using gloves to remove your implements even when you're cleaning them, because when you're cleaning them after your course, you use the soap water, but when you're using that barbicide, you don't want to be touching that with your fingers. You know, you always want to be wearing gloves because it will like do some real damage on the skin. So definitely protect your skin. Like I said, it has that tray you could put your implements in, wash them off as well. And you would definitely, you know, put your barbicide in here and you can close it. So I definitely recommend a tray to actually clean your implements. I would definitely highly say to buy 2 of these, and you definitely need to buy 2 like UV lamps. I'm going to talk about that in another video, and also the e-file. I'm going to talk about that as well in another video. So I highly recommend getting 2 of like certain items, you know, items that you definitely are going to be using regularly, because you don't never want to have one e-file when you keep doing nails for so many years. Because what if that one e-file goes out, you know, and you have a client that day? You need to still be able to keep moving, you know. So definitely invest into like 2 of e-files, 2 UV LED lamps when you get to that point of doing nails for so long. Next, you're gonna need a nail desk table. I like this one. It is off of Amazon when you're starting out. Now, I wouldn't say to put anything too heavy on here, because it can kind of weigh down that desk and it'll just like break it. But I will say this is really great to put, you know, like, of course, the basic things that you need to perform that day, your gel polishes. You can put it on like a shelf. If you see right here, that the shelf that's right there, you can buy a shelf like that to kind of put some of your other items that you may have. I would highly recommend buying a nail lamp. This nail lamp I love because it has the right amount of lighting. It doesn't feel like my eyes are strained. You need to have good lighting to protect your eyes. This is like hands down #1 for me. I do have one that has like the magnifying glass, where I can be able to see the nail before I'm actually doing nails, that I can inspect the nails. So I like that as well. But this one, I definitely say, is not too big and bulky where it takes up space on your desk. You can move it. It is movable, where you can like pull it up, pull it down, pull it closer. So it does have like that stretchability where you can do that, and you kind of clamp it on your nail desk. Now, another thing that I would highly recommend you getting is a chair, a good chair. Invest into a good chair, especially, like I said, we're sitting there for hours on end. You know, we're staring at the nails all day. Our eyes are hurting, our back is hurting, our legs, our shoulder, our neck. We need to protect our spine and everything with it. So what I like to buy, and I have bought this chair and I still have it, I would say buy a gaming chair. This gaming chair that I do have has great support, because like I said, we're sitting here for hours on end. So it does have like the little button where you can like pull it up and down, but just make sure that it matches with the height with your nail desk. But I have this one because, like I said, it has that good support for my back. Anything that says economic, like, you definitely want to make sure you buy that, because we got to protect our body. You know, this career has a shelf life, and you don't want that shelf life to come sooner than expected. So again, we need to be protecting our bodies, our health at all times. So like I said, the gaming chairs to me work better than regular chairs. Now, the next thing that I would highly recommend, again, like I said, we're breathing in all these chemicals, this dust. You know, you need a good, like a little air filter, system purifier. So I like this one. I have this one, but make sure that your air filter says HEAP, where it has that carbon air filter in it. And this removes like dust, smoke, odor. So they have this on Amazon, and I will leave a link to this as well. Like I mentioned, this is going to help kind of like circulate and kind of remove a little bit of that like toxic in the air. It may not get 100%, but something is better than nothing, because fans, when you're working with these chemicals every single day, fans are going to do nothing for you in you know, trying to remove these things in the air that you're breathing in. So you need something that's going to, you know, help like filter something out. So you can see here it says smoke remover, toxin absorber. It does have like a button where when the filter like needs to be changed out, it does have like a check filter indicator on there. You can also set a button for it as well. These items will definitely be essentials for when you're doing nails every day.